Welcome to Seascape, Black Head to Spanish Head in the Isle of Man. A sheer 150 metre cliff out of the water and a boulder slope down to 22 metres in water. Welcome to this wet fish film odyssey. We are diving on the Isle of Man, UK. In this film you will see us diving in the context of the seascape, which normally you will rarely ever see in an underwater film. It gives you context in terms of the microhabitats in the wider seascape, rocks and how they make the reef, from 5 to 5,000 ton monsters with caves never filmed before. I thought it's time to see the structure of the reef. You can see for yourselves how it lives and provides the homes for all of that which we see and experience. The cuckoo wrasse follows me around for most of the dive, hoping to gain from me disturbing some food from the bottom. At this depth, almost 23 metres, there is no kelp, but plenty of seaweed in various varieties, providing shelter, homes and a place to breed for a wide variety of sea life. I enter a small cave entrance in a massive pile of fallen rocks from the cliff. These rocks have probably lain here since the last ice age 12,000 years ago and would then have been above sea level. Today you're having the privilege of seeing what's there for the very first time in their history. Observe the colours of the seaweed and sponges covering every aspect of the rock, regardless of its orientation, demonstrating how important structure is to sea life. I mentioned seaweed, but note sea urchins, the white prickly balls. These need the weed as food, which shows a balanced microhabitat for them. I make an audio signal for Les Roos, my buddy, to look. He turns, and there in mid-water is a massive lion's mane jellyfish, and totally dependent on the tide. Plankton and fish are their prey, and their major predators. Take it from me, each one of those tentacles is full of stings. Fortunately, I don't react to them, so I'm lucky. see one of those massive fallen rocks. In the past it would have just been a distant shoreline. Now it's home to apex predators and prey species, all making their life to breed and pass on their genes to the next generation. On the outside, ballan wrasse, cuckoo wrasse and pollock all hunting. Inside, several species of sponges providing colour and texture, taking food from the water and sitting it out until the breeding conditions are right, midsummer and a spring tide, to distribute the next generation into the tidal flow. I am ever grateful to Jacques Cousteau, who invented the aqualung, allowing me to enter the underwater world and experience the joy he showed on TV when I was a small child. If you ever wondered, it's the place on earth I feel most at peace, and at one with the environment. It feels natural. To my left you see the edge of the reef, coarse gritty sand and the odd boulder. This is the home of the true underwater specialists, those who are buried deep in its protecting arms, or the others, the masters of camouflage who live on its surface. Control is critical in diving. You feel the pressure change, and you compensate like a submarine to stay at a given depth and avoid a sudden ascent and the bends. Look up and you see the predatory fish, dark shadows against the sun, looking for their next meal. time, a female cuckoo wrasse checking me out and looking for a little extra food. It's those tiny little moments like this that make every second underwater a pure pleasure. Look up and you can see the corner of all those immense boulders balanced on top of each other, offering homes and caves to the sea life that live it here in this micro-habitat. I can guarantee that no human has ever gazed in wonder at these small caves before. There may be space to squeeze through, but I dare not enter. Everything is very precariously balanced. One false move and I'd be trapped. You're seeing and experiencing some of the most pristine seascape in the UK. My hope, next time you visit the coast, make sure you take everything home you brought with you. Leave nothing but footprints on the sand, and take no more away than the photos and memories of the day well spent in nature. A large cave opening beckoning me in. It's so tempting just to wander. Fortunately the camera is doing the wandering for me, and like you I get to see how spectacular it is afterwards. I am rarely, if ever, disappointed. There is just so much to wonder. We're back on the cliff edge boulder slope. No shortage of our prickly friends, the sea urchin, making the most of it here. And the cuckoo wrasse abound. Little by little we're moving ever shallower, and the air in my suit is expanding. Hence me stopping for a while and letting a little out, so I don't do an uncontrolled ascent. When I turned, at first my reaction was nothing much here. How wrong could I be? Another spectacular small cave system, full of life, thriving in a clean sea, all held up by a tiny rock. As you can see the kelp again atop the rock to my right. We are now a little shallower and towards the latter stages of our dive. Remember, the kelp is the equivalent of the mangrove swamp at these latitudes in the northern and southern hemispheres. Without it we would see much less life. The question this film raises, both in terms of climate and our use of the sea, do we want to lose any of this life through our actions? I've mentioned apex predators before. They come in all sizes and shapes in a microhabitat. Here are a group of pollock, all looking for a free meal on me. They're all a good size and clearly doing well and looking very healthy. sponge-lined reef covered in soft corals. Who would have thought this possible in the UK? I can't help myself looking under this overhang, and what do I see? Orange sponges covering the whole underneath. Further back, and not visible to me whilst diving, soft coral and sponges adorn the walls. Even the sea urchin is finding food in this hidden place. It is beautiful beyond words and takes my breath away, even as I watch. Kelp, translucent and blowing in the tidal flow, stunningly beautiful. Here's me trying really hard to get the cuckoo wrasse to come out and say hello. She's definitely not too keen. I just can't help myself, I have to investigate. Soft corals and sponges adorn the walls. But for how much longer? If only we could be more caring, how and what we use in our water, ensuring that the water companies treat our sewage properly before it leaves the sewage works. When it then enters the lakes and rivers, eventually entering the sea. We all need to make better choices and help with a chemical-free lifestyle. 100 years ago, this would have been quite normal. We exchange signals. This is the start of the end of our dive. Our surface marker buoy is released, indicating to the boat where we are. whilst at the same time allowing us to make a controlled ascent and off-gas nitrogen from our bones and soft tissues, allowing us to make a safe return to the surface without decompression sickness. The critical piece of equipment at this time is our dive computer, controlling exactly what we do and how we do it. And there you have it, the boat is right there as we break the surface. In a few moments we'll be back on board via the lift. It is my hope that ordinary people will make different choices in their daily life to protect our planet. Water companies will join in and dispose of our waste responsibly, not just doing the minimum to comply with regulation and to keep their costs down. And last but never least, government will produce and enforce environmental legislation. If not, I fear all is lost. With thanks to the Isle of Man Dive Charters and my buddy Les Roos. Music by Dan Hennig and Nat Keefe. I'm Tony Howell's filmmaker. This was a wet fish film odyssey, and I'd like to dedicate this to my longtime dive partner, Les Sullivan, who sadly I think last year was his last year diving, after 40 years of partnership together.